Happy New Year to all of you, and welcome once again to Army Forest Now Canucks FX. It's been a while since I recorded a video because I've been away from trading for a while, but I'm back and I'm happy to come your way once again with the weekly analysis I was doing before. And I promise that this year it's going to be a back-to-back analysis on this channel. So Happy New Year once again. And I hope that this year the market will be favorable and that you'll be able to make some money trading the Forex market. On our screen right now is the chart of Xauusd. That is gold spot. And that is what I want to analyze and show you what I'm looking for this week and how I intend to trade. But I also want you to understand that to be successful in trading, risk management and your psychology is key. So work on that. It really doesn't matter how good your strategy is. If you do not have proper psychology and a good risk to reward ratio, you won't make money out of the Forex. So I take note and work on that. I hope that as the year goes on, I may do a few videos on psychology and risk management. But before that, let me show you a trade I picked just this morning, which is running very beautifully. That is USD JPY. Is doing so well. It's doing so well. And this is a 1:4.8 risk to reward trade. And we are hoping to hit our target. And these are the very first trade in the year. It looks good. It's going so well. Anyway, back to Xauusd. Now, if you have watched any of my analysis video, you know that I always start my analysis from the weekly. And I do what we call the multi-time frame analysis. So I usually look at the weekly, daily, and 4 hours. These are the time frames that I use for my directional bias when I want to know exactly where the market is going. So I check the direction on the weekly, I check the direction on the daily, and the direction of the 4-hour chart. And where I see the market likely to go, it is in that direction that I will trade. So currently on the weekly, I will not explain much as to how I check my directions, but probably I will do a video on market structure, how to be able to read the market structure and do it well. So this is the highest level on the weekly. I want this line to be seen only on the weekly, so that when I go to the lower time frames, I do not get myself confused. So visibility should be only on the weekly. Then I'll clone this. Forex doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple, especially if you know what you are doing. So with this, like I said, I won't explain, but with this, weekly is bearish. So this is my lower high region. Let me bring it here. Let me be sure that it's only visible on the weekly. Yeah, so that I don't confuse myself when I come to the daily. And this is my lower low. Good. So that is all that I need to do on the weekly, just to find the market structure to see if the weekly is bullish or bearish. Here, we have concluded that the weekly is bearish. Then we go to the daily. Okay. This sometimes is a bit dicey, so you should know what you are doing. You get it? You should know what you are doing. If I take my path to high, higher high, higher low, higher high, then we made a lower low, then we made a lower high, then a lower low, then we made a higher high, higher low. Then from here we made another higher high, and then from there we made a lower low. So we can conclude that the daily is bearish. So from where did we make our lower low? Here. Let me be sure that this can only be seen on the daily. Okay. So, and this is our last lower low point. Anything in between here doesn't count. So as long as this has not been broken and this has not been broken, this high has not been broken, we are still bearish. So on the daily, we are bearish. So lower high. Let me be sure it's only seen on the daily. On this. And then we'll have our lower low. Let me make sure that is also okay. Good. So our daily is also bearish. So we have the weekly bearish and the daily bearish. You get it. I don't want to go deep into this, but the weekly, the 4-hour is also bearish. How do I know? This is the last lower high, which has not been broken. Let me be sure I get it right. This is very important you get it right. Yeah, so that's it. That's the last lower high. And let me be sure I'm seeing it only on the 4-hour chart. And then this is my lower low. So 4 hours is also bearish. I'm taking my time because I just want you to understand. I could have just rushed to do this, but I just want you to understand my thought pattern. So this is also lower low. Let me see. Okay. Now, after we have done this, now we know that all our major time frame, weekly is bearish. Daily is bearish. And 4-hour is also bearish. So with this, it's wise that we only look for sells since the direction is pointing downward. So from where do we sell? Usually I take my levels on the daily. You get it. Now there is another way I do this, which I wouldn't talk much about that, but we call them the fresh key levels. So for me, Let's see. This is a key level for me on the daily. I wouldn't explain it that much, so I'll come to the 4 hours. And for me, this is a level, so I'll just draw my zone. Something like this. Something like this. Now, to be sure that this is a strong zone, look at how price has respected the zone. Just look at how price has reacted around this zone very beautifully, very beautifully. So that is the level where I'll be expecting to sell. So I'll put my short to here. And then my TP, usually, because it's a daily level, I want to come to, and the weekly is also business. So yeah, that's okay. You get it. But I want to, like I said, you will want to work on your entries. I now do pending orders because that's how sharp my entries have become. Yeah, so now I do a lot of pending orders. I don't do market execution that much. So that is that. That is that. So I also use the line chart of recent time more, especially in drawing my zone and in finding my levels. So I don't want my charts to have a lot of lines. I want it to be very clean and simple. Yeah, so that is that. I think this zone should be somewhere here. Yeah, and your stop loss should come out a little bit. 50 pips is okay. Usually I use between 25 and 35 because this one is more of a swing trade. Yeah, so you want your SL to be a little tight and maybe, yeah, TP somewhere here. Let me lock it. Yeah, so that is that for gold spot. Thank you so much for making time to join me on these analysis. Thank you for being a part. Until I come your way again, may the